Okay, so I'm back, and I had a chat to Rach, and we decided that we would reveal a prompt this week because we feel like you guys are too excited and you'd be disappointed. And I saw one of our group members at the fair today, and I said to her, how would you feel if there was no prompt today? She said, oh no, we're all waiting on a prompt. So yeah, so here's a prompt. So we've decided that we're going to go, the first prompt is going to be your title page. So you need to put field notes, or we suggest you put field notes. Obviously, we're not going to dictate to you what you do. Somewhere on your title page. Now for me, this title page will go on the inside cover of my book. It will get stuck down with glue. Just showing you. So stuck onto the book. And this edge here is just some old Liberty I've put underneath that will end up wrapping around. So you'll see a little bit of Liberty on the edge there. And it will fold over eventually to make my second page. So my title page will come just part way onto that. So I'm really going out of my comfort zone with colours. Look, browns and oranges and different greens and stuff. So, excuse me, Alfie, you okay? Alfie? You okay, darling? Sorry, he got something stuck in his throat. So this is a piece of Rachel's linen. I have put it onto a strip of calico, which will be my base fabric. I have put the old piece of Liberty here and here because it's not quite big enough. It only comes to about there. And then what I did, inspiration from things I bought today at the quilt market, I'm going to stitch a little piece on there. So today what I'm doing, I'm just showing you my ideas. I am going to stitch this off camera because this video is really long. I'll put a bit of lace there, and I've fussy cut this beautiful flower from the old piece of sheeting. I've got this is actually stretchy. Normally I wouldn't like this, but the colour's good. So I'm thinking there, and I've cut another one which will go here. And these are all going to be thread painted. And by thread painting them, I like the yellow. I might adjust the green slightly. We'll see. And then I'm playing around with these of putting a little panel in. I'm thinking this one might be better, where I will needle turn applique, and it will say field notes here, and then I might do a bit more embellishing. So that's my plan. I'm not going to stitch tonight because I need to get this video up, and my internet's been going super slow and downloading slowly. So I know you're keen to get prompts. So this is going up before my next blurb. I'm putting this up first so you've got the prompt. It might be confusing because in my next video I say we're not going to do a prompt, but we have done a prompt because we changed our mind. Okay, so the next part of the video is just going to show you how I'm putting all my book together and some inspiration and stuff like that. It's quite long. I ramble on a bit, but please feel free to watch it or watch it in fast motion or whatever you want. And at least you can get started on your title page. So just so you understand what I'm doing with the background, I'll take off all these bits. I am going to cantha stitch, so running stitch. I will stitch this all the way along. Okay, just a running stitch to hold all these fabrics down. Then I will layer all these bits and pieces up. And I'll probably cantha stitch that down as well. I'll just do some overcast stitch on this, capturing it in certain places. And then with the flowers, I will overcast stitch. So overcast stitch is just where I'll get a thin normal sewing machine cotton, and I will just stitch little tiny stitches all the way around the edge just to hold it in place. And that will happen with all these flowers and leaves. Okay, so overcast stitch on that as well, just capturing bits to hold it in place. And then what I'll do is next week, I'll come and show you the thread painting, the adding of my label and stitching my label, and maybe a little bit more embellishing. So I'll do all the counter stitching and overcast stitching off camera because this video is going to be too long. Okay, so looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Really out of my comfort zone here. I wouldn't normally use colours like this, but I've decided I want to try some different things. I don't want to get stuck in my same old routine of pinks and aquas and blues and greens and white, and I want to mix it up a bit. Sure, I'll use some of those colours at times, but I do want to find some good variation in this project. Okay, so thank you for watching this week. We hope you're excited by the new project, and I will see you next week. So this prompt will take us 2 weeks. 2 weeks to do your title page. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. Hello, so here we are. Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 6. Had to think about that. Volume 6. We're up to 6. And it's field notes. So for this first week, what we're going to do is we're going to explain to you a bit more about how things work so you can get yourself organised and you can get yourself started. We had a chat today, and there's quite a bit for us to explain. So we thought what we'd do is we'd explain stuff to get you started with the basics, get your inspiration going. And then next week will be the first prompt. It doesn't mean you can't start now, because I'm going to start giving you some ideas. Alfie, shh. So the way that the project is working, we're running through the season, starting with spring, and we're keeping them in order. So spring, summer, autumn, and then we'll finish with winter at the end of the year. And we will be doing 3 prompts per season. So spring will have 3, summer will have 3, etc. What I'm going to do is I want to keep an inspiration book for my ideas. Because I have lots of ideas and then I forget I had them and then I think of other stuff and I get all over the place. So I've got this beautiful leather. This is the softest leather art journal. I got this. It is so soft. I can't even tell you. I got this in Venice when I went there with my sister, Rach, many years ago. And all that is on the inside is just plain paper. So I'm going to make this, turn this into, I've glued a few of the pages together because they're a bit thin and I might want to put a bit of paint on them. This is going to be my inspiration book, and I'm going to do some inspiration for spring, summer, etc. So I am going to get onto that soon, and I will show you probably in this video some inspiration for spring. I wanted, no Bobby, no, sorry, she's about to jump on the mat. No Bobby, Bob. Go down next to the heater. Can you hear the rain outside? Rach, it is pouring. You'd love it. I want to show you this magazine. Now, this is one of our absolute most favourite magazines in the whole world. It's British. It comes out only once a year. I'm just seeing if I think I have all of them. Okay. So in Australia, $24.95, and it comes out in July, August, September. So look out for it in September in Australia. But I actually look quite regularly, so I don't miss it. So I'm going to show you that pretty much this front cover is kind of field notey to me. So in my inspiration journals, I'm going to have some pictures of old illustrations and new photographs of flowers and things that I like. Hellebores could be perfect because they do come out in spring and they also come out in winter. I might leave them for winter. I love them. I know Rach loves them too. I'm going to do some paint little samples for the sort of colour theme that I'll be going for each month, and I'm going to show you a little bit through it. I've marked a few pages. So for example, this might be some winter inspiration, and I'm never ever going to cut these magazines up because these are like gold. They're like books. Again, some beautiful winter inspiration. There's quite a few pages here. Lovely Cosmo. When do Cosmos flower? I think they actually flower in summer. This could have been summer, but anyway. Winter inspiration. Look at that. I'd love to find some more old illustrations like that to get into my inspiration book, so my field notebook. This might be some autumn inspiration. I marked a few pages in this, and then we can have a flick. So they're kind of like the summer colours that I'll go for. Oranges, sort of bright pinks, deep oranges, peaches, yellows. I actually have a cross stitch like that, an old one I bought in Italy when I was with Rachel. There's some pretty summer inspiration. So I have some lovely cross stitch birds like that, which I could work into my piece. So then we might pop over and like pale colours like that could be some spring inspiration. Hydrangeas flower in, they flower in autumn and they also flower in summer, so that could be summer as well. I love that wallpaper. That wallpaper is by, I'm going to tell you, I've got a book on it. Mum gave it to me. It is, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you and show that. I love that wallpaper. I actually want to get that wallpaper in my hallway. Anyway, let's turn over. I'm getting distracted. So they're lovely for winter colours. And then I haven't gone through all the magazines. They are Morris & Co, but they're the daughter. Not William Morris, but the daughter. She did that wallpaper, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so what's her name? Meg Morris. I've got a book. I'll have to show you. So I'm going to use not only our lovely inspiration from Edith Holden, but I'm going to use other sources as well. So I thought I'd give you a little flick through these magazines. I'm going to show you a bit more. Like just those covers, like if I could create a stitch page that is inspired by the cover, they are wonderful magazines. So if you can get your hands on them, I know one of them I bought because I missed one of the, maybe the second issue, and I bought it at a very large cost. Beautiful. That looks like Sanderson fabric in the background. So in my little inspiration book, I think I'm going to do snippets of things, glue things in, do some colour swatching. Oh my gosh, look at that fabric. Is that Sanderson? That is stunning. Wow, that would be summer inspiration for me. I love that. I'm distracted now. Can't remember what I was saying. I'm collecting some of these old, are they Enid Blythe books? I'm collecting some old ones like that. I don't have any with dust covers, but I'm collecting some of her old ones. I want a stack of them on my shelves. A lot of things I'm collecting: old plates, old books, old fabrics, old trims, old laces, just anything old really. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just showing you our summer. There would be my summer kind of colours. Peonies here. Peonies come out basically around springtime for us. They have such a short season, but they're just about my favourite flowers ever. But there's very summery kind of flowers. So as you can tell, being a field note journal, stitch journal, we're going to obviously have flowers and, you know, things that you'd go out into the field and you'd sketch. We both want a very vintagey feel. We want script on our field note. Oh, look at that lovely collection of old books, old children's books, lovely. I search for these things in op shops. They're so hard to find. Robinson Crusoe, really hard to find. I think sometimes people get old books and they don't put them out because they think no one will want them, but I would love them. I search for them. Yeah, so look, the prompts, I mean, we've kind of been playing around with the ideas of the prompts the other day, and we've settled on what we think. There's one in the future that we're still not 100% sure which way we're going to go yet, but that's okay. And sometimes even as we progress, we change our ideas. But generally, you're going to find that there's going to be some kind of nature florally prompt, beautiful little daisies there. there may be some kind of creature prompt. But with these pages, what you're going to be able to do, oh, look at those linens, French linens. What you're going to be able to do is add lots of your own ideas in. So remembering that a field note sketchbook page often has lots of bits and pieces in it. So like it might have a sketch of a flower and then a sketch of a bird and a sketch of some kind of other piece of greenery or something like that. It's often got notes about what the things are. So we're definitely going for that kind of feel. Okay, I'm taking a while to flick through. I'm just going to show you, how many have I got? I've got 5 of these. I'm pretty sure we're up to 5. No, that wasn't, I think the first one I showed you was the first one. This is issue 5. Beautiful. Okay, so what I might do, I'm not going to flick through all these. It's going to take too long. What I might do is for each month, oh, that was issue 1. Each month I will, oh, how pretty. That is so pretty. There's some good inspiration. Sorry, I'm getting excited by the old fabrics. Look at them. Look at those. Look at that. Look at that. So you can see why I love these books, and Mum loves them, and oh my gosh. I feel like I've seen that space before. I've got it pinned on Pinterest, I think. But look, I could have my apartment like a bit like that one day. Vintagey. Look, things mismatched. Oh, that couch looks so comfy. Anyway, okay. So what I might do is as I find inspiration, I'll show you some each sort of fortnight. So the prompts, we'll work on them for fortnights. So it'll be 6 weeks on each season. We've got 2 extra Wednesdays. That's why we're starting this Wednesday with a general overview. And then we'll have one at the end to sort of wrap it all up and put our book together. But I'm going to give you a bit more of an explanation of how this is going to work. So firstly, this is the size of my cover. Okay, so I'm going to take this book apart. This is an old one I found on the street. I've used the inside. I use the pages for bits and pieces, but basically I've taken out the pages. I mean, you can just use cardboard if you want, but I've got this old book, so I'm going to use it. I'll neaten that up. Just cut the just roughly cut the spine off. And I can neaten that up later, get all the bits off. But ultimately, I have 2 covers the same size. Okay, these will end up being covered in some kind of stitched piece. Okay, and so it'll be fully covered here. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this gorgeous parcel that Rach sent me. Now, this is just a tiny part of what she sent me. She sent me so much stuff. So as you know, she's printing on fabric now. So these were just offcuts on the end. But I'm going to use a lot of this. But I'm also not going to use all my pages with this because I want you to see. I asked her to send me labels because I'm going to have labels on my pages. So some are in linen and some are in cotton. So she sent me quite a lot of labels. There's lots. Butterflies, because in a nature journal, you can easily have butterflies on all pages. So some of these things she sourced from different places, but some are her actual documents, like things that she actually has the originals. So for example, looks a little bit like a hellebore. Can't really read the writing, so that might be part of one of my pages. And then, when do they flower? Magnolias. I'll have to look that up. That's got to go in my book somewhere for sure. Look at all these beautiful things. So some is stuff that she's actually got the originals and scanned them, and other stuff she's sourced from different places. Well, there's a beautiful rose that could be thread painted. That could go well as a winter or a summer rose. Oh, that's so cute. That I know that came from a book that she's got. I mean, that could be for Christmas. And Rachel's things are colour fast. So she's had these printed properly on linen and on cotton. And they're colour fast. So you can actually, daisies. They will have to go. Oh, look, some more roses. I'm just pulling out bits. Like these would be nice with little bits of stitching on them. And then, you know, you can have little bits of script, and those ones I think are her documents. So look at all these fun things. I said, just send me some fun stuff to play with. And she sent me so much. I didn't expect this much. That's really pretty. That could be a winter rose. You know, you could have a snippet of this or cut up some butterflies. So I'm just digging down. Poppies. When do poppies flower? I can't remember. I have to look that up. I mean, that could be like a page and then you work on top of it. Oh, I love maps. So she sent me an old map. I really love maps. Maps are cool. I love old maps, not new maps, old maps. So you could cut out bits of this. Okay, now this is what I wanted to show you. So firstly, I asked her to make me some pages. Not that one. This, not that one. Yes, that one. No, not that one. Where are the pages? That's the wrong thing. Sorry. Must be here. Here, it's this. I asked her to make me some pages. So, this is my fault, Rach. Sorry, I made you do these for me. I asked her if she could make me some double pages. So, like, that's a double page. Okay, it's a little bit wider than my book, but that's okay. I can work with that. Oh, no, not once I put the two bits together. So, that could be... Hang on. Sorry, excuse me. I'm just going to show you the accordion style. So that could be my page. So for example, once this is covered, this will be covered in fabric, I might attach that. And I may just end up doing it with glue. And then it will be an accordion. So I could even use this strip of linen that Rach has given me, where it will go like, so my pages will go like that. And then that will fold over like that. And then that will fold over like that, etc. So I think she's given me 10 double pages. Look how, oh, that's beautiful. That'd be lovely as a back page. Just a little bit of stitching on it. Okay, so eventually once all my pages are in there, I will then have another cover where that will be glued. And then the two covers, I'll have some kind of wrap around it. And then you basically will be able to open it out. And it'll be my long filled notes. How perfect are they? Go and check Rachel's Etsy. I know she's had her filled notes packages up for sale. I'm not sure if she's selling these ones. I'm not sure. I begged her to make these for me. So thank you, Rach, and probably thank you, Steffi, for making these. So that's one. I'll just show you slowly. But I also want to do some pages where I don't use this because I don't want you to feel like you have to have Rachel's digital printouts, like these things, these fabric printouts, to be able to make your filled notes journal. You could very easily make this just on some linen, or even some tea-dyed fabric would look great, so it's got an aged look. Okay, here's the second one that she's done. And I think Rach is going to use it as well. So it'll be interesting to see how we both do things differently. So I might sometimes use these, and then sometimes I might have this on the back. I'm still working it out. We actually are both still working it out. We're excited by the idea. I've actually had the idea for a filled notes journal in my head, fabric journal, probably even before we did any Roxy Journal of Stitchery pages. And finally I'm getting to do it. So I'm just going to show you a couple of others. These are like her single pages that she's printed. So this is the one I'm thinking of using, where I'm going to embellish this embroidery, add lace, add bits of fabric, do cantha stitching, etc. and eventually that will be the cover. So I'll have to probably cut it in half. That'll be one cover and that will be the other side. I'll show you another one page that she's printed. Some of her own doodling. So you could cut out bits of this and have it in. So I'm pretty excited. Like, I've got so much to play with, but there's just so much that I've got to actually get my ideas straight in my head, because there's just so much. And then she also sent me these. This, Rach told me, was someone's old notebook, and it's one that she actually has herself. Look at it. So I'd love to put them on the backs of my pages. So I've got those 4, and then look at this. This one's my favorite. Look at that one. Can you see? And it's her writing and illustrations. Amazing. And then there's these 3 as well. Look at the illustrations. They are phenomenal. So neat. So, yep, that's what I'm playing with. So much to tell you, so much to show you. So the first thing I would be doing, if I were you, is I decide on your cover how big you want it to be. And you can use just normal cardboard. You can get an old book, whatever you want. Old books are good because it's a good size cardboard, and you know, a lot of the time these things get thrown out, so you may as well use it. Get yourself an old book and work out your dimensions. So these pages are pretty much just about A4. So my book is looking like it's around A5. I'll measure it for you. Hang on, I'll grab my ruler. This one. So the width is 5.5 by just over 8.5. Okay, 5.5 by about 8.5. And then when I do my fabric panel, I won't just stitch straight into this because this is linen, a bit floppy. What I'd probably do is I'll put a piece of just calico or cotton, some other cotton. I might even trim off that white border and I could put ticking, right? You love ticking, or some old floral fabric behind it. Maybe I might even sandwich a piece of wool in between it. And you want a little bit extra because when I stick it down, and gluing it down is going to be the only way for me to attach this, I'm actually going to want to have it over the edge so that you can't see the book. So I need some excess fabric so I can basically stick it down over the edge. So my cover will be quite puffy. And then I'll have to think about my tie. The cover's probably something I'll work on gradually. I might show you bits and pieces as I go along, and I'll bring it all together at the end in December. So the next thing I do, once you work out your cover size, you'll be able to work out your length of, you know how high you need your fabric, and then cut yourself a length, and you'll know sort of what width your pages are. So what I'll get is I'll get some calico and I'll measure that out because the pages Rach has given me are linen, and I will piece them together. If you were with us at the beginning and Rach did the accordion style pages, she ended up stitching them together, but if you weren't to stitch them together, mine aren't going to be stitched together because it's going to be something that pulls out, but it's kind of that concept. So I will do a big long strip of calico, and then I will probably iron folds in them to make my page widths, and then I'll start working on it. And you can always add more. If it's not long enough to begin with, then you can add more. And because this book is going to have no spine, it doesn't matter how many pages I add, because it can be this thick, or it can be this thick, or it can be this thick. It doesn't matter, okay, because it's going to have no spine. What will keep my book together is some kind of wrap, something that I'll do to put around it. Still to be worked out. So I just wanted to show you all my ideas and all the bits and pieces I'll be working with. What I might do is I might start playing around a little bit with this, and then I'm going to come back and show you some inspiration for spring. So what you can do for next week get your book, get your calico or your homespun cotton or whatever you want to use in the background. Gather up some gorgeous fabrics. I will pull out more fabrics. I haven't gone through them yet. I've got a lot of florals, vintage bits of Sanderson, things like that I want to incorporate as well. If you want to keep a little inspiration journal, like maybe even your own field notes journal. I mean, if you're good at this stuff, you could even go out in the field and do some sketching. Okay, you could go out. For me, we are in winter. It's probably not too much to sketch in winter, a lot of rain. But you might want to go out, or you might already have a field notes journal. And there will be opportunity for you to add in things that are from your home country. So, you know, I could give a bit of an Australian spin, have some beautiful Australian flowers or birds or whatever. Yeah, so you can put your own spin on this as we go. But I hope you're not disappointed that we haven't given you a prompt this week. We just felt like there was a lot for us to explain to you before we get started with a prompt, because you've got stuff you can do this week until we start. The other thing you could do, once you got your calico or whatever, you could even start layering out fabrics on your background. Maybe some neutral fabrics or some script or whatever you want. I would keep my background fairly neutral, low volume, because you want to feature your little butterflies and flowers and script and titles and stuff like that on your pages, like a field note journal. I might come back in a little while and just show you a few inspiration pages, and we might even make a Pinterest board with some field note journals. I love the old ones. The old ones are the best. Okay, so there'll probably be an extra bit to this video that I'm going to add on. I'm going to clock off right now, and it's only Tuesday, so I don't need to post till tomorrow. So I'll do a bit of work in this, and I might show you some field note pages. All right, I'll see you again in a minute. Okay. So I'm back. I've got my Pinterest board. So if you want to follow, it's RJOS, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, #6. Field notes, it's on my Pinterest. And so here are some ideas. So this one firstly. Now this is gorgeous. See how it's got a neutral background and then sections? That's what I'd like to do, because often you get field notes journals that are like that. Okay, so gorgeous flowers where you got flowers and you might have something running up your page. That's a Facile Cecile page. Okay, so this is examples of field notes journals. So birds and sketches and notes about what they're seeing, etc. Okay, so you're going to see some different versions of this. So this is how we want our pages looking. So there could be something running across the top, some different images here, some florals there, some different bits and pieces. Okay, beautiful, beautiful little field note page. So see that one, how it's got sort of, they've used watercolor, but you could tea dye. You could tea dye some fabric and get some staining. Okay, sections with titles and words, etc. Again, you get the idea. Coloured labels. Okay, so I just saved lots. I've got in here and I've just saved lots and lots. There's a lot of birds. Gorgeous ocean one. Different way to write titles. Okay. Look at that. Love that. You could replicate that in a way by having different bits of fabric. Okay, different bits and then an image over the top. Could be an image cut out of a piece of fabric. For me, obviously, I've got Rachel's Cool Ones, but you can also get ones out of other bits of fabric. The Kathy Holden fabric is a good choice. Okay, colour swatching. I want to do the colour swatching like that. Could be cutting out bits of fabric that are in the colours you like. Okay. I've pinned quite a few of these. September. I mean, you can even look at these and see what's around. It's probably Northern Hemisphere. For us in Australia, it's the opposite. We're in the Southern Hemisphere, but you can get ideas for your months, for your colours. I think I've saved most of the months from this person. Okay, so gorgeous bird. You could cut out some script. There's a lot of script fabric around, new fabric. If you want to make new fabric look old, just dip it in a bit of tea. That is Lucy Layfield. She's don't know why I can't remember her name. Lucia. I've got some of her watercolor classes. I've got that. Like, I love that. Almost like a title page with beautiful sort of, it's Christmas and you've got a red robin in the middle and the greenery around the outside. Okay, that's a very neat one. Things going up your page and then some script. I mean, you can, if you've got the time, you could stitch the script. I know people have done amazing stitching. I want to do some stitch script. Okay. Gorgeous border around the outside. That could be your page. You could do a single page if you're more time poor. I should probably be doing single pages, but I'm going to try do double and just see how I go. Okay, there's some summer inspiration. That's the Edith Holden sort of collage. I think there's one for each spring. So they if you don't have the books, you don't need the books. Just get these pictures. There's your inspiration. Look at those gorgeous flowers and animals and insects and etc. Winter. You can see the different colour themes. A little bit brighter, a little bit more pastel-y, pretty Easter colours, winter tones, and then your warm autumn tones. That's beautiful. Okay, so these are some of her pages. I've pinned a few people sharing them online. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Chinese, Japanese, I'm not sure, but field notes. It's like a proper field note journal. Okay, so do you get the idea of what we're heading towards? I hope so. I mean, the idea is still evolving in our mind, but we kind of got the idea of what we want. There are 12 prompts, so if you want, you can make each prompt a different month. It's up to you. So how do you turn these gorgeous watercolor, painted, illustrated? Wild Ink is the person I was trying to think of before. Wild Ink is her business kind of thing. I love all her sketches. I've got lots. That's her as well. I've got quite a few of her classes. But how do you turn all of this into fabric, a fabric journal? I know some of you have actually experimented with painting on fabric. You might have some fun doing a little bit of that this time around. Sorry, that's my son with the hiccups. This might be a bit of a travel journal, but it's still kind of, you're out there out in the open sketching. We've actually pinned quite a bit here, more than I thought. Just trying to keep it on an angle because see the light shines. Oh, that's beautiful, really pretty. Those leaves remind me of Rachel's watercolour doodles. Nature notes. Cute little, boxes and headings. Like you might do a different piece of fabric there and stitch your heading and then have a bit of script underneath. Okay. You could do some stamping if you've got some letter stamps. I've got quite a few different ones. You could actually stamp on the fabric if you don't want to stitch it all. I might do some of that. I might do a bit of both. I might stitch my headings and stamp some of my notes. If you use something like your Stays On, like this kind of thing, you can get this in a nice dark brown as well. If you use your Stays On, it should stay on your fabric, but I mean, you're not going to wash this anyway, but it should stay on. That's a gorgeous page. Don't you wish you had a field notes journal, or do you have a field notes journal? If you have one, can you take inspiration from your own journal? So that's kind of what I want to do in my inspiration book. That's Wild Ink as well. I want to actually, do some doodles. A bit of fabric inspiration there. Yeah, so you can see lots of ideas there. And I'll keep pinning and Rachel will keep pinning. Is that all by me? I think so. Rach, did you put anything in here yet? Not yet. Rach needs to add some. It's all mine. So my Pinterest is, I don't know if I come up under why am I boards? I think I just come up under my name. Just put Sarah Roxburgh. It should come up. Okay, there's a lot of boards there. Lots. Anyway, bit of inspiration for you. And now I'm going to play around with this, but I'll come back to you with that one later. Okay, I'll see you again soon.